Today we're going to talk about reading a graph. And when you look at a graph, here's my graph. Usually they give you the name of the graph somewhere on it, near it, around it. They'll name it. So this graph here is named f of x. This tells me that f is the function, x is the variable. This is what my graph looks like. And to read it, what we're going to do is we want to find these values. So this tells me find f of 3. So this tells me what happens on the f function when the x value is 3. So I go to my graph. I notice that it is labeled by 2's. That means in between 2 and 4 is where 3 is. And I go up to 3 and the graph touches right here. And I ask myself, what is that y value? This y value right here. And that y value is 1. So you would tell me f of 3 equals 1. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for f of 5. So f of 5 is right, this is 4 and 6, so in between the two is 5, and it's way up there, it crosses up there. So what is at f of 5? What is that point? And that point there is, oh, it's also 5. So at 5, 5. All right, so the next part is at -4. So -4, now we're going in the negatives. And again, they're counted by 2. So it's -1, -2, -3. There's my -4 on this line. I come down. Notice I'm not going up. My graph is not up here. So I'm going to go down to find my graph. My graph is here. So what is that y value right there? That y value would be -3. So we're going to say this equals -3. And then, let's make it this one. Sorry, I'm changing colors. Last one says -2. So we're going to go out to -2. I want to know what the value is right there. And that looks to be -1. I just read my graph. So now looking at this one, again, named my graph, same thing. It's g of x, totally different looking graph though, right? And I'm going to want to know where g of -2 is. So again, I look at it, it is going by 2's. And I see that -2 is out here, right? 0, -1, -2. Again, not going down. My graph is not down here. I'm looking to where the graph would be. So at -2, what would that y value be on this graph? And we're going to look at it right there. What is that y value? And that y value is 3. So at -2, it's 3. So then we're going to ask what happens when x is 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. And that's where the graph is. Again, not down here because that's not where my graph is. I'm going up to where the y value on my graph would be. And what is that value right there? That would tell me at -3, or no, I'm sorry, at +3 it is. Looks to be 3. And then what happens at 0? So when x is 0. So 0 is this point right there. And yes, that is a value. Okay, a lot of people tell me that's not a value. That is a value. Just equals 0. Okay? So that is how we read a graph. Next part of the lesson talks about vertical line test. In the vertical line test, you're asking yourself, does a vertical line going up and down intersect the graph twice, more than once? I guess more importantly, more than once. So let's change that to say more than once. Okay, so I drew out some graphs, and my lightsaber just happens to be a nice vertical line we can use. Okay, so you see my lightsaber, it's going up and down. When I look at the first graph, does it pass the vertical line test? Well, as I take my lightsaber and I go across the graph, do I hit the graph more than once? And the answer is yes. In a lot of spots, I hit the graph more than once. Therefore, this is not a function. So if I'm asking you it's a function, and I ask you to use the vertical line test, this is what I'm doing. So in the next one, here's my lightsaber again. Let's start. So do I hit the graph part more than once? And when I say the graph part, let me be clear. I mean this line, okay? The graph part, not the red part now, because that's the graph itself. I'm saying the function, the line that I was drawn. So is this one, do I hit that line more than once? And the answer is no. So this is yes, it is a function. Okay, so from now on, I'm just going to write yes or no. So when I look at the next one, this W looking thing, as I go across the graph, do I touch it anywhere more than once? And the answer is no. So yes, that one is a function. Here, this is my graph, and here goes my lightsaber. Yeah, that's supposed to be vertical. No, I know I can't draw, but this one, it hits everywhere. So this is no, not a function. And what about this S looking thing? I'm starting off pretty good, right? But then right there, I hit it 3 times, and I stay hitting it 3 times quite a ways through. So no, it's not a function. So on your work, that's what you're going to be doing. You will be assessing whether or not it is a function or not using the vertical line test. If you have any questions, let me know. Email me, join the Google Meet. I'll be happy to explain it.